Hello everyone, myself Ruchi Patel, working as an assistant professor at LJ College of Physiotherapy. Today I am going to take second year topic that is pelvic tilt. In the last lecture, we have studied about the anterior pelvic tilt and posterior pelvic tilt. So we'll have a brief revision of the previous lectures. So as we all know, the pelvic tilting, that is anterior, posterior pelvic tilt, lateral pelvic tilt and pelvic rotation. So we have to measure the lumbosacral angle to measure the whether the pelvis is in the anterior pelvic tilt or whether it is in the posterior pelvic tilt. We have another method that is pelvic inclinometer and by drawing the vertical line. So here this lumbosacral angle measurement and here the with the pelvic inclinometer. Then we have studied about the anterior posterior pelvic tilt. So with this diagram, we have studied related to the motion during the posterior pelvic tilt. Sacrum is moving closer to the femur, whereas during the anterior pelvic tilt, sacrum is moving away from the femur, whereas during the anterior pelvic tilt, ASIS move and in the downward and in the anterior direction, whereas in the case of posterior pelvic tilt, pubic symphysis move upward direction. Correct? So after that, we have seen related to the muscles that during the anterior pelvic tilt, your tight muscles are the hip flexors and back extensors, and your weak muscles are the abdominal muscles and gluteus maximus muscle. Whereas during the posterior pelvic tilt, this gluteus maximus muscle and abdominal muscle will become tightened, and erector spinae and iliopsoas muscle will become weak. Okay. So this we have seen. This is the increased angle, anterior pelvic tilt, posterior pelvic tilt. Okay. So today we'll start with the lateral pelvic tilt. So lateral pelvic tilt occurs in the frontal plane and around the anterior posterior axis. Okay. So here if we are considering that person is standing on the one leg, then the here the person is standing on the left extremity, right? And we are drawing the vertical or we are drawing the line which passing from the ASIS of the right side to the ASIS of the left side, and the vertical line which passes from the femur, and here this angle will be measured. Okay. So if I am saying that right hip hiking, that means your right hip or right side hip joint is in the non-weight bearing. Okay. So here our right extremity is not in the contact with the ground and the full weight has been taken by the left extremity. So whenever the pelvic hike is occurring, that time pelvis moves in the upward direction. So when this come for the pelvic hike, and if we measures the angle from this ASIS and this uh, the vertical line which passes from the femur, that get increased. So we can say here the abduction motion is occurring. Whereas in the case of pelvic drop, if I'm saying right pelvis is going for the drop, so that suggests your right extremity is in not contact with the ground, and it's the pelvis is moving in the downward direction. And that time if we measures this angle will get decreased. Generally what we do, if I am saying that pelvic hike and pelvic drop, our attention will be on the pelvis, the motion in which it is occurring. So if I'm saying this right hip is going for the hike or the pelvic hike, then I'll see angle also on that side and I'll observe the motion also here on. So always this angle will be measured on the opposite side. Okay, it won't be measured on the non-weight bearing side. Okay. So here this lady is standing on this stool and she's trying to do pelvic hike and pelvic drop. So here her right extremity is not in the contact with the ground. Okay. So next is the lateral shift of the pelvis. So what it is? So lateral pelvic tilt can occurs in the bilateral. So if I say hip hike, hip drop with the lateral, if I say the hip hike and hip drop with the lateral pelvic tilt, then it occurs only in the weight bearing extremity. Okay, but if I say related to the lateral shift of the pelvis, here both the hip or both the foot is taking the weight. Okay, so both the extremities are in contact with the ground. Here you all can see both the extremities are in contact with the ground. And one more point which we have to keep in the mind, the whenever the lateral pelvic shift is occurring and whenever both the extremities are in contact with the ground and pelvic drop is occurring, then it is definitely make sure that always there will be a pelvic drop. Never pelvic height will occur. Okay, so always with the lateral pelvic shift, pelvic drop will occur. There will be never pelvic hike will occur. Okay, so here if I say right pelvic shift, means your body weight is taken by the right side, your pelvis is shifted to the right side, your left extremity is of course in the contact with the ground, but it is not taking that much of weight. Okay, here the hip and knee of the opposite extremity, that is the left extremity, is in the slight flexed position. So with the pelvic shift, pelvis cannot hike but can only drop because there is a close chain between the two weight bearing feet and the pelvis, both hip joints. Okay, so if the pelvis is shifted to the right in bilateral stance, the left side of the pelvis will get dropped and the right hip joint will be in the adducted position. The left hip joint will be in the abducted position. So here the shifting is on the right side. The left side of the pelvis is going for the abduction and the right side of the pelvis is going for the adduction. Okay. Then we'll see related to the pelvic rotation. As we all know, rotation will occur in the transverse plane and the vertical axis. So we have forward rotation and backward rotation. The forward rotation of the pelvis occurs in unilateral stance when the side of the pelvis opposite to the supporting hip joint moves anteriorly. So whenever we talk about the rotation motion at the pelvis, we'll see the swinging extremity. Our reference extremity will be swinging extremity. So the forward rotation of the pelvis occurs on the swinging extremity, and the forward rotation of the pelvis produces the medial rotation of the supporting hip joint. So the forward rotation which is occurring on the non-weight bearing side, that is on the swinging side, correct? And medial rotation will occurs on the weight bearing or in the stance extremity. Okay, so backward rotation of the pelvis occurs when the side of the pelvis opposite to the supporting hip moves in the posterior direction. So we can say the swinging extremity is going for the backward rotation. The posterior rotation of the pelvis produces lateral rotation of the supporting hip joint. So with the help of forward rotation, the supporting hip will go for the medial rotation, and with the backward rotation the weight bearing extremity will go for the lateral rotation. Okay, so, and of course this medial and lateral rotation of the hip joint will occur. So the reference books are the therapeutic exercises by the Lakshmi Narayan, joint structure and function by Cynthia Norkin, and principles of exercise therapy by Dina Gade. So you all can refer this topic from these three books. Thank you.